Hi everyone, I'm Val from Grailzee and welcome back to our YouTube channel. So if you've seen our last interviews, you know that a topic that's come up a lot lately is the future of watch brands in general. So in this video, we'll be discussing what kind of direction these brands are going in and what I personally think they need to be doing to survive the next 10 years. So the first brand up is Audemars Piguet, and we've covered this brand to nauseum with all of their releases and everything that they're doing with collaborations and everything that's going on. But my bone to pick with AP is specifically about the Royal Oak. And don't get me wrong, these are beautiful watches, and I think some of the collaborations like the John Mayer are, fabulous and just needed to happen for the brand, even the Travis Scott, but I just don't understand all the limited editions. A company should not rely on a singular watch model. Your average consumer cannot name 5 AP models. Now let's talk about the direction the brand is going that I do agree with and I see some potential in. Firstly, the minis. I absolutely love the minis. I love that it was a 3 set. I love the frosted finish. And I also love that they're expanding, or it seems like they're expanding, the Code 1159, which is what I would recommend for them. Some examples of some really nice Code 1159s would be the self-winding flying tourbillon flyback chronograph, the regular self-winding tourbillon with this beautiful dial, and finally the tourbillon open worked Code 1159. I think these are fabulous ways of kind of switching things up and making what's cool about the Royal Oak into different models. But what I definitely think they need to be doing is making the offshore cool again. The offshores are missing, the innovation they put into the Royal Oaks, like new materials, new finishes, all of that. But I also think they have a good chance of doing a collaboration with an artist or someone that's relevant in an offshore. No more Royal Oaks, please. Even though they're beautiful, we need more diversity for the brand. Next up, we have Patek Philippe. Number one would be to have new and innovative dials. And they've already kind of dipped their toes into this with the Grand and Petite Sonnerie Minute Repeater, which has a beautiful guilloche dial. It has so much movement, and this is really what I want for them. They can do so much with dials without losing their brand identity. From Watches and Wonders, we've seen so many brands playing with different textures, with different materials, with different colors that I think they should definitely take a look into incorporating this into their classic models, because it would just be an absolute home run. And some good examples I can kind of reference for this are the Patek water droplet release that happened in Watches and Wonders. I think that, it's nominated for a Grand Prix award, and I think it's a beautiful use, of texture for a dial, and I would love to see a Patek Philippe watch with something like that, and even a Moser, and see how they play with color and texture in their dials. Number 2 would be different ways of displaying complications, and I came across one specific model that kind of did it differently, and I really hope the brand takes this route. The specific model I'm talking about is the reference 5181R Complications. This watch, you can look at it and you wouldn't necessarily even think it's a Patek Philippe, but that's why it's so special. It's bringing in all of their tradition, all of their knowledge, and all their complications and displaying it in a different way. And next up, we have Cartier. And I feel like Cartier faces kind of a similar problem. We're used to their models, they're so classic, and I feel like their style is so established that they don't really seem to play around with anything anymore. I want to see less high jewelry watches and more skeletons. And most people probably don't know this, but the Santos is not the only model Cartier makes with a skeleton dial. Some great examples include the Roton Astro Tourbillon skeleton, the Roton Mysterious Astro Tourbillon, and the Roton Mysterious Skeleton Double Tourbillon. And just look at them. They're so different. I feel like they can compete with almost, any indie brand really, but with the prestige of being Cartier. And finally, more crash variations, and I can't stress this enough, and I know that they have to keep this limited for it to be as hyped and as hot as it is right now, but I just want to see more because I love that watch so much. A partial skeleton with that one would be really cool as well, but yeah, just more skeletons, please. And last but definitely not least, and I'm not super excited to talk about this brand because I know a lot of people are going to have their thoughts, but Rolex. And what I truly hope to see from Rolex someday, hopefully soon, is innovation. You have other big companies like AP making new materials like their sand gold, new finishes, new dials, new everything. And Rolex is just stuck cross-pollinating models. But I feel like at some point they will come out with something truly unique and interesting. For example, I think the success of the skeleton project just goes to show that maybe one day Rolex will make their very own factory skeleton dial. And I think the beginning of this was the new Daytona's crystal case back. And so there is hope there. And lastly, Rolex, just give people what they want. Give us a new Coke. And bring back the Yacht Master 2 collection. Stop discontinuing models and just give people what they want. True watch collectors have a world of options and a world of innovation to choose from. So if you want to stay relevant, my advice to Rolex would be to go one of these two ways. Either bring stuff back or innovate. So if you made it to the end of the video, thank you for listening to my rambling, and let me know in the comments if you agree with my takes, if you agree with a certain take, if you don't, and I mean what you hope to see for the future of the watch industry. So thank you so much again for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and leave us your suggestions for what you'd like to see covered next.